Hello ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining again today. We've got another tech review for you. Well, I'm pretty excited about today's review, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be reviewing the OBSBot 4K Tiny PTZ webcam. Without further ado, let's get down to the unboxing. All right, so first thing that we have in the box is the instruction manual, user manual, and notices from the manufacturer. And then we've got the camera itself, which is shipped in this nifty little hard case, fabric hard case. Love this. This is really cool. It even has a little bit of a lanyard hanging from it. I think that's really awesome. Opening it up, all right. We've got the OBSBot cam itself. We're going to call it CamBot. And the stand, which is magnetic. Interesting. It's magnetic. So this is the stand that goes on the back of the monitor, and it is magnetic. Awesome. All right, so other things that are in the package. Of course, we have the power cable. The data cable. And what looks like a USB-C to USB adapter. All right, well, let's get this OBSBot cam hooked up. Well, there you have it. I've got the OBSBot TinyCam 4K hooked up, and you are looking at me on that camera, whereas at the beginning of this video, you were watching me on a Logitech Brio. So we've got the app open, TinyCam, and we're gonna mess around with the gimbal settings. Move the camera around. So we'll grab this here. Move the camera up and down, and left, right. Wonderful. And now let's reset the gimbal and zoom. We're of course manually zooming. Oh, let's look at my giant forehead. But yeah, so awesome manual control. Now let's test out the tracking. So let's turn on tap lock tracking. And wonderful. Look at that. Tracking me around the room. I bet you it gets lost. Yep, when I go behind the microphone, it gets distracted for, momentarily. That is cool though, and boy does it do a good job of tracking. I mean, it's pretty quick. Well, catch me if you can. It's pretty nice. And so this is going to be the standard mode, and there are multiple modes, so let's take a look at that real quick. So we're going to go to headroom mode. Headroom mode is supposed to leave a little bit more space above the head, and this is supposed to be ideal for Zoom calls and video calls. Standard mode, of course, takes a little bit less off the top and puts your head more in the center of the screen. And motion mode is more for tracking entire bodies. So motion mode is if you're not going to be like streaming up close to the camera, and your entire body is going to be what you're trying to track, not necessarily just your head, but your whole body. Not exactly far back enough to track my whole body, but you get the idea, the general idea of what it's supposed to be doing. It's focusing less on my head and more on my entire body. So this is pretty cool. Now we're going to change it back to standard mode. And we're going to check out these gestures. So let's say that I want to stop tracking myself. Well, would you look at that? That is pretty cool. So these gestures are utterly fantastic. Now the second gesture that you're capable of doing is a zoom. Also pretty fantastic. Now obviously you see as we get in a little bit closer there, the quality starts to get a little bit grainy and I start to get a little washed out the further that I am back from the lighting. However, this is still a very, very good image quality zoomed all the way in. I mean, I own a ton of webcams. Most of them are Logitech. This is my first webcam that is a OBS bot webcam, but I'm very impressed. Color me impressed. That's a game changer. That is an absolute game changer. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hook up the Logitech Brio and we're going to compare the image quality of the Logitech Brio with the image quality of the OBS Bot TinyCam 4K. So this is the OBS Bot TinyCam 4K and this is the Logitech Brio 4K. Both cameras are shooting in 4K at 30 frames per second currently. And do not get me wrong, I am a faithful Logitech owner and user and customer, and while I have had multiple Logitech cameras over the years, as well as some other web cameras, I think the clear winner here between the quality in terms of, I'm likely going to go with sensor size, is going to be the OBS Bot TinyCam 4K, which has a 2.8 sensor. I'm not actually sure what the size of the sensor in the Logitech Brio is. The information that I can find about it is very cryptic in terms of sensor size, but I do not think that it is that large. That being said, you can clearly see that the blacks are far miles better on, and I have not adjusted the settings of either of these cameras, by the way. The dynamic blacks are far better on the OBS Bot TinyCam 4K than they are on the Logitech Brio. I do feel color-wise the image is a little bit flatter on the OBS Bot TinyCam 4K, but of course that's something that can be adjusted, with your contrast, color, tints, all that stuff. But it does not take a rocket scientist to discern between the amount of grain that you can clearly see on the Logitech Brio and the considerably near nothing to no grain on the OBS Bot TinyCam 4K. I'm just unbelievably impressed with the quality of this camera. So let's get up a little bit closer here and see how the detail works on my face once it's up nice and close. Another thing, obviously, is that the OBS Bot has very, very good contrast ratio, because when I get close to the OBS Bot cam, the white balance stays the same or similar, and I don't get washed out. But if you look at my forehead, as I'm getting closer to the Logitech Brio, I am shining like a pair of jump boots, and I get totally washed out, like in the middle of my forehead here, whereas over here there's practically, you know, no washout whatsoever. So Logitech Brio, I absolutely love the camera. I have 3 of them. One is right there and the other one is directly above, but at $200 a piece for the Brio and only $260 for the OBS Bot Tiny-Cam 4K PTZ web camera, and with $20 off on Amazon right now, I got it for $240. The absolute unequivocal clear winner, again, is the OBS Bot Tiny-Cam 4K. That being said, I'm going to do just one more test real quick. I kind of want to stand back and see. Yep, again, clear winner, the OBS Bot Tiny-Cam 4K. Well, there you have it. The OBS Bot Tiny-Cam 4K is an obvious choice for any streamer or somebody who has video calls regularly for work that wants to be able to track themselves, look amazing in 4K at 30 frames per second, and also look amazing in 1080p at 60 frames per second, which is primarily what I bought the camera for, since my streams are run at 1080p in 60 frames per second. So I'm going to go ahead, as usual, and throw a link to the OBS Bot Tiny-Cam 4K down into the description of the video so that you can obtain one yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know I am doing a good job by giving it a thumbs up and commenting, and if you wish to support me further, please tap that bell to all notifications so you never miss any future content from my channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.